So right at the beginning of the demo, we looked at being able to set different types of report styles. So let me just close Visual Fair, and I'm going to take you to the customization tool that we call site configuration, and that's where we create report styles. So go and select site configuration, and once this is opened up, you can see the demo style Rolls-Royce once it's done synchronizing. So there's the demo style Rolls-Royce. So I just click on either the plus button here to add a new style, and then I click on the plus button here to add specifications. So against that RPS 54 spec, I type in the name of the spec, the type, whether it's a material or a process, the code. Obviously, if I want to select something other than not applicable, then I'd need to add to this list here. Again, I just click on plus and type in something to add to that list. Special process supply code. Again, I decide how I want to lay those out, and if I want to add a new supplier, just click on the plus button and type in new supplier and whatever the code might be for that new supplier. And then back on the specification, that new supplier will be in the drop-down list, so I can select the new supplier. Customer approval verification, that's either yes, no or not applicable. And then I can set a document type. So against this specification, I know that the customer wants a supply release note, CFC. That document I'm going to attach to the report. So we can define a number of attachment types. So there's the supply release note, for example. So if I go back to specification and hit that drop down, that's basically a list of all the different types of things we may attach, and the one that I've got highlighted is obviously the supply release note CFC. It could be that my customer wants me to attach multiple things, so I might want to attach a supply release note and perhaps a data card, so I can have multiple things against a particular specification that I attach. Okay, just quickly do a little bit of housekeeping. I'll pop that back there, and I'm going to go and delete that new supplier. Okay, so other things that we can customize, tolerances, for example. So we can set the tolerance name, and it can be a unilateral or bilateral tolerance. We can even add the tolerance name to the description, so basically taking those symbols through and add it into the description when we mark something up. We have the ability to set up different types of values that go onto the forms. So for example, we could have names and addresses going onto specific customer related forms. So this is going beyond AS9102. You can customize certain fields on forms, and each field basically has its own setting. There are also some default values that we can set, including characteristic designator, and the square brackets denotes that it's a key characteristic. There are some miscellaneous settings, the order that the PDF is generated in, some default lists. These are settings for other apps other than Visual Fair. Required forms, we can tick the forms that are required. Attachment types we looked at earlier, as well as setting linking a particular spec to, in the case of a supply release note, we can also complete anything that's required by default. So just by typing some text in this column, part mark verification photograph required by customer, that sets that as a default requirement for Rolls-Royce. So it's a simple checklist. The non-numeric values, so you can have a list of pass values and fail values, and finally we can tick this box here to override local colours, and we can create screen colours and print colours for features, materials and processes, part properties and reference markups. So if I click reference markups, for example, and I wanted to change the colour coding, perhaps I wanted to select transparent balloon, and then I want black text, and the blue border the bloom border I'm going to leave as black, and you can obviously control the thickness as well. So lots of customization features available, and once you've finished customizing, you can just click on the save button, and that will save the customization settings so that other people can actually click on synchronize and pull those customization settings through to their machine. We've also got the ability to set a generic list of measurement equipment, and there's also the ability to create different types of OCR presets.